Happy Wednesday, everybody. Obviously, we are recording this on Tuesday night, but this is Josh with On the Wrong Lead, joined by always Mr. Andrew Champagne. A little lo-fi Christmas music getting us in. Another episode of Dragon Champagne. Andrew, how are you doing?
Lo-fi and almost certainly royalty-free. That's how we do things here on the On the Wrong Lead Network. Things are going really well here, getting set for my pre-Christmas expedition back home to New York, so that'll be a lot of fun. Obviously, as we go through the holiday season here, and before we go much further, have a happy and safe holiday season, folks. Whatever you happen to celebrate, hopefully you're celebrating it with the people that you love, care about, and maybe, just maybe even like just a little bit.
And subscribe.
Better. Yes. And if you're tuning into the On the Wrong Lead Network for the first time, welcome. We're happy you're here. If you're watching us on YouTube, go down below, hit all the buttons, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the alerts button. Really helps us out. And look, we've been doing this show for a little over a year here. We've been able to have a lot of fun, and you guys are a big part of the reason why we've been able to have a lot of fun. So let's keep this going, huh?
Yeah, for sure. We definitely been having a lot of fun. It's been kind of weird with the last couple of weeks. I've slowed down a little bit, obviously, with following horse racing. It's slow time of the year. Obviously, Turfway Park is running, which is one of my favorite tracks to play, mostly because of the time it runs. I've just not had great luck there, but they have a ton of horses. They run at a great time. They start basically as soon as I log off for work, and it's just a fun little circuit, I think, to follow. I just wish I was a little bit better at it. Gulfstream Championship meet is, starting or is in the thick of things, but I kind of feel like usually don't really pick up until January. And then Oak Lawn has started, they seem to start earlier and earlier every year. A couple of circuits I don't really do terribly well at. Fairgrounds is probably the one I do the best at, and that is kind of probably where I've been focusing most. In fact, I think I was talking to Caleb and Mark the other day, and I was like, yeah, I basically just win money at Fairgrounds to lose it at Turfway Park every day. So it's been interesting. Obviously, we didn't record last week, but the week before that, I went, or actually this past weekend, actually, I was in Vegas when I got to experience some of the stuff that you were talking about, Andrew. I will tell you that construction in front of what is now Horseshoe is awful.
Yep.
Absolutely awful. It's just not a great experience being on that part of the strip. My wife and I, we really do enjoy the south end of the strip. So we tend to stay at Park MGM. I mean, well, Aria and Vidara are probably our favorite place to stay. This last time we stayed at Delano, which is attached to Mandalay Bay, which is all the way in the south end of the strip. But we tend to stay MGM properties on the south end. So one day we walked up to Bellagio and crossed over to go to Planet Hollywood. And yeah, it was just a disaster. I know their building was at Big Red, or Old Red. I forget what it's called. Whatever that country singers bar is called. They're building that in front of Horseshoe, and it's just not great right now.
Yeah, there are definitely places in Vegas that you want to avoid and need to be very, very careful of. I love staying on the strip in Vegas. There's a lot of fun things that you can do. I didn't feel like I was missing out on anything when I was staying at Orleans and just going to the strip a couple of times. It's a zoo over there. You add in the F1 construction that they have not yet even remotely started to take down. Uh, you add in the fact that if you try to use those walkways over Las Vegas Boulevard and look out, you most of the time can't because the windows have been whited out. Because how dare people, walk and look at the same time? It's just one of those things that, again, we mentioned this on the show a couple of weeks ago. The F1 race, fantastic idea on paper, horrible idea in practice. And it's unfortunate because a lot of the fallout affects tourists and their visits to Las Vegas in ways that some people didn't foresee and some people just flat didn't care about. And that's a shame.
Yeah, we were walking towards Bellagio, and we realized, when like I said, we stay on the south side all the time. So walking towards Bellagio, we do that same walk, and then there's a little escalator that goes up, and you can walk around to get into Bellagio. And we did it one day to go look at the conservatory. The next day we do the same thing, and then I realized, like, oh, we can't even really go straight because that entire walkway in front of the Bellagio is blocked off still.
Yep.
Which, like, is insane to me to think that the Bellagio fountains have been blocked for probably what amounts to about 2 months now.
Yep.
Um, so yeah, I don't know. They're gonna have to figure something out. I'm sure they're gonna do a better job of this next year,
You
but
promise?
I don't promise it.
That's
But
the thing. This is turning into, and I think I said it on this podcast before, the neighbor that never takes down their Christmas lights. That's what Vegas is doing. It sure seems like they're thinking, oh, we'll just leave all of this up and maybe no one will notice. People notice.
yeah, it's yeah, that was interesting. Interesting gambling trip as well. I think I mentioned this on the Shatin show, and I low rolled it a little bit this time. I
Well,
didn't
you
bring
you
as
low rolled it. You low rolled it.
yeah.
You've got to be shutting
Hmm.
me.
We I just didn't bring as much money as I normally do. I'm definitely a go to the ATM once kind of person, and basically give my wife the money and be like, okay, I basically ration it out per day, right? Um, and occasionally I will dip into the next day, like, $100 or so, but I basically try to ration it out. And let me tell you, the first 2.5 days, maybe even 3 days I was there. No, I think it was 2.5. Um, just absolutely killed. I basically blew through my budget for the day by about lunchtime.
Oh no.
So every evening I was basically dipping into the next days. Um, and the first day we landed, I wasn't planning on gambling a ton, but I basically broke even the first day, right? We had a couple things planned, and um, I didn't have to dip into too much of the next day, and but I broke even. I think I basically didn't go to the ATM until the second day, and we were playing, and my wife and I both thought we were just like getting killed. It doesn't matter what I played. If I was playing slots, go right away. If I was playing craps, just lost it all right away. And I was changing it up in craps, right? Which everyone always says, like, is the worst thing to do, because what happened to me is exactly what happens. I would play 3 point Molly, right? Get my 3 points out, and then I would seven out. Right. And then I did that like 2 or 3 times, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. Literally, like, I could seven out anytime before that and at least recoup a little bit on the come, but no. Then I start playing the 6 and the 8. Well, then I just start point sevening, right? As soon as I get the 6 and the 8 money out there, then it's like, okay. And I'm just like, I just blew through money. It was nuts. Um, Finally, I think one of the days, it might have been the second or third day I was there, I was like, I got to slow down. Like, I'm burning through money. And normally, like I said, I bring more money, and I have a little bit of like extra bonus money, like in case of emergency. But like I said, no leeway this time. And that second day, I sit down and play video poker and we're at Mandalay Bay. And shout out to my friend Ryan Dickey, who claims that he has never met anybody who hits more four of a kinds than I do. And so it's funny he says that, and so I started playing bonus poker now instead of jacks or better, just because you get
Whoa.
just because you get the bonuses
Bigly,
on the
bigly.
bonuses on the four of a kinds. And sure enough, dude, I hit like two or three four of a kinds. I won like $100, which like, granted, is not a lot of money, but if you play video poker, you know the swings usually aren't that big. So when you're playing bar top video poker and you leave up $100, usually you also leave up a lot of drinks, and that was no different for me. I think at some point I talked up the bartender, and he was just basically giving me double pours of Knob Creek for free while playing, and I left very feeling very very good with a little bit of money in my pocket. And then it just all, obviously I was feeling good, and the money got loose, and basically, like I said, at the end of that day, I was like, I told my wife, I'm like, I might have like $150 for the rest of the trip. Like I had like basically like nothing. And then the rally started. And I'll tell you, man, there's something about playing craps, and when it just goes perfectly, that feels really good. Um, once again, like I'm playing super conservative. I know I only got so much with me, so I'm playing craps, and I'm not even betting odds at this point because I'm like, look, I got to be conservative. And next thing you know, I'm playing just the five. I'm just playing the pass line, um, and then I'm playing the six or the eight, not the six and the eight, and I'm putting $6 on there. So I start hitting a couple numbers, start building up, and I realize I'm up like, I don't know, $30 or so, and I'm like, all right, let's start playing like I normally do, right? So I have it out there. I play odds, and I think the next point is an eight, so I make the six $12. So I got $12 on the six, and I got $5 on the pass line, and I got my odds, and I hit the six, hit the six, hit the six. So I collected three times on the six. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna start pressing. Hit the eight. All right, put $12 on the six, $12 on the eight, or then I have 24 on the six, and $12 on the eight. Um, and then I think I get like a four or something as the next point. Six, six, six. So at this point, I just keep on rolling sixes, and I'm like up. At this point, I'm probably up like $120. And I'm like, all right, well, screw it. I'm just gonna start pressing now. Eight, press the eight. Eight, press the eight. All right, I'm gonna start covering the other numbers, and I just start hitting everything. I think I end up leaving up like 300 bucks, 350 bucks. Of course, when you seven out, right, it tells you how much you had on the table if you're playing electronic craps, which always like feels like a punch in the gut when you realize you have like $150 out there. It's like, yeah, I won 300 bucks, 350 bucks, but like, oh, I left all that out there. But um, I had another session very similar to that, but much quicker, or much shorter. But it was even funnier because at this time I was explaining to my wife kind of like the bets I was making, and every time I would explain a bet, it would hit, and I was just like, this doesn't normally happen. Like, I'm like, so like I it was the same thing. I had the six. I'm like, well, I'm gonna press the six now, and I pressed the six, and the six roll, and another six rolled. I'm like, and that's why you press the six. Like, it was crazy. It was a lot of fun. I actually ended up coming back even for the trip after
Hit the
having
applause
just
button. Hit the applause button right now.
such just an absolute just, you know awful start to the trip. I ended up coming back even, so that was nice. And
I
we had a
don't
great
know if you
time.
hit the applause button or not, but if you did, I didn't hear it.
Oh, you know what? I had my this stupid thing. I don't know why, but occasionally my Stream Deck decides to just, I don't know, reset everything. So I will give you another round of applause here.
For those of us that are listening, not another, a first, but thank you. That was no, anytime that you wind up coming back from Vegas in that sort of a state after that kind of a rally, well done, good sir.
Yeah, it was great. My wife also came back even, which also doesn't happen. So I'll give her a round of applause there. And she she is just so funny. We were playing. I forgot what we were playing, but at a certain point, She's sitting there and she's playing. She wanted to play this Conan the Barbarian, or the Adventurer, Conan the Adventurer. They have a slot machine for it, and she's sitting there and she's playing, and she gets the bonus, and then the thing spins around, and it's a jackpot. It was like I think $150 or something, and
Nice.
she's like, I won all that. I was like, yeah. She was like so shocked. She's like, what? Like, what just happened? I just thought like it was gonna be like a couple free spins or something. So, but yeah, no, we had a great time. Had a nice meal at Bavette's, which is always a great place. We went to Din Tai Fung, which is one of my favorite places to go. I know Matt, my friend who I do the Shots In podcast with, poo poos that place because he's actually been to like Asia and has had like very very authentic Asian food. So, um, you know, whatever. I like it, Matt. All right, you can't stop me. But and then we went to this like this Christmas event, Enchant, that they had, and it was fun. We just got to see a bunch of lights, and I got to prepare my troll Christmas gift for my sister.
Your
Um,
troll Christmas gift for your
yeah, so dude, I don't know what happened, right? My sister all and I don't know, like my wife says maybe it's because, with some of the drama that's, we had my father obviously passed away last year, and we've had some family drama and some weird stuff happen the last like year and a half. And this Thanksgiving, my sister, like we've never been a picture taking family. Never. My entire life, we have never been picture taking. I am not a picture taking person. Never take pictures. My sister is literally like shoving her phone in everyone's face. Oh, let's take a picture. Let's take a like just taking all these pictures, trying to like, I don't know if she's trying to capture the moment now or what, but like I'm like at a certain point, I'm like why are you still taking these? Like I don't understand. And I'm just like I'm like we've never taken pictures. Like what happened? And so she's just snapping all these pictures at Thanksgiving, and I'm leaving, and my wife's like, oh, she's probably just trying to, like I said, with all the crazy stuff happening, she's trying to make sure that hey, we have pictures and we have memories because we never took pictures as a family, and I'm just like, yeah, but like she's like. Okay, let's take one or two pictures. Like we literally were taking pictures the entire night. This is ridiculous. And so finally, my sister, knowing that I was annoyed, sent a photo of something she bought on Amazon, which is one of those picture frames that people take at parties, right? So they can take, "Hey, Merry Christmas," right? And they have the little uh, picture frame, whatever. And I'm just like, all right, this is ridiculous. So when we were in Vegas, I literally took about 50 to 75 selfies among myself and with me and my wife at various spots. And I'm going to put together a slideshow for my sister of just me, pictures of me, so she can finally sit there and enjoy, all the pictures that she wants and that we shall never forget.
You know what you
Uh,
need to do?
well,
You need to have the Ashley Simpson song pieces of me or pictures of me or whatever it was. You need to have that on in the background. Maybe a little Kid Rock, Sheryl Crow with picture. Nickelback's Look at This Photograph. Have some fun with this.
yeah, no, I'm seriously, I'm bringing my laptop. I'm hooking this bad boy up to the TV, and I'm playing the damn slideshow. At when we're unwrapping gifts. So I'm gonna get that edited and ready, and I might share it here just because I think it's hilarious. But we'll see what the reaction is to that. But I was actually gonna get a photo book from Shutterfly instead, but I was just like, man, you know, I like a good like troll gift, but I think it was going to be like 30 or $40. I'm like,
You
that's a
don't like your
little.
sister that much.
No, no, no. That's entire. I'll spend that kind of money to troll Mark, but not troll my sister. So
You might spend it to troll me. But yeah, no, it's look, I grew up with an older sister that is far more accomplished than I am. Okay. and she's the one that is holding the annual Christmas soiree at her place in Westchester County. I take every single opportunity I can to have some fun where I can, simply because, as the annoying little brother, it's my duty to have some fun and to do
Hmm.
that. So we relate to each other in that way. And I'm trying to figure out the best way to do that. The best thing that happened at one of these family gatherings was actually at a wedding. It was in 2021, right after the worst of COVID hit. So I had just flown. The wedding was north of Boston. And so I went to the rehearsal dinner pretty much right after I got off the plane. And within 5 minutes of seeing me, my sister looks and goes, "So when can I send my girls out to you for a week?" We had just seen each other for the first time in a year and a half 5 minutes ago. She'd been sitting on that. And I thought for a second and I went, "Here's what I'll do for you. When your kids turn 18 and hate you, and they will hate you, send them to either Cal or Stanford. And I will be the fun uncle that makes sure they don't get into too much stupid trouble and takes them to brunch a couple of times a month." My brother in law thought this was hysterical. My sister, not so much. And that was the desired reaction.
That's so funny. Um, yeah, it's always a good time. Always a good time at in Vegas. Next trip is tentatively planned for March Madness. And I know, yeah, fingers crossed, obviously for you,
Fingers
Andrew.
crossed. We'll see what happens, and hopefully we'll wind up doing something, but we won't know that for a little while. But yeah, March Madness always a good time and always a good spot for attracting some of the weirdest things you could imagine in a Las Vegas casino, between let him shoot it guy, bye bye Coach K guy, and the guy that fell asleep on my father, and my father threatened to actually fight him, and then he sprang right up with security right there to catch him as he sprang up. This stuff just finds us. I don't ask for this. I don't put myself in these positions. These people go out of their way to find me.
So you're going over back to visit dad for before Christmas.
Yeah, yeah. My sister does her party the weekend before Christmas, because Christmas weekend she goes down to my brother-in-law's family down in Delaware with her kids. So this is her way of, seeing everybody and whatnot. So I'm flying east on Thursday. I fly back west the following Tuesday. So Christmas winds up being a week early, which is a little awkward, but at the same time, travel's a lot easier. It's a
Yeah.
lot less hectic doing it that way. You wind up getting a better deal. You wind up, having an easier time going out to restaurants with the family if that's what you want to do, because nobody's making reservations for Christmas dinner on December 19th, 20th, whatever it was. So it works out as well as it's going to. And those are some of the adjustments you wind up having to make when you're 3,000 miles away with a fairly big family and people that have a whole lot of places to go. So we started doing that last year, worked out reasonably well. So we're doing it this year too.
Yeah, we for Thanksgiving we used to do both families, and there was a lot of driving. It's really hectic. It was about 45 minutes between the two places, and like, you don't want to like be insulting, so you eat at both places. It was just bad for all parties involved. So um we basically decided we're gonna do Thanksgiving with my family, Easter with her family, and kind of leave it at that. And Christmas is the one that we still do double. But my family celebrates Christmas Eve, her family celebrates Christmas Day.
Oh, that's not bad then.
So yeah, it's not bad, right? It's usually it can be sometimes a late night on Christmas Eve, but it's not that bad. But for the longest time, I used to do the church singing stuff, and I was actually talking to there's the CIO at my company. He's very involved in choir stuff, and so I was just talking to him, and I was asking, I was like, oh, do you have stuff coming up? He's like, yeah. I was like, yeah. I was like, I miss the singing part. I do not miss the schedule, because it used to be go to my family's, eat something real quick, go to regular Christmas mass, come back, hang out with the family again, go do midnight mass, drive home at like 1:32 in the morning, wake up again to go to Christmas Day mass the next day, and then finally I'd be done. I'd come home and then we'd go see my wife's family, and it's just like it was just like insane. Just I don't even know how I did it for so many years now, because now I'm just like, man, now it's great. The holidays come and I don't have to do anything. So
So you were indeed faithful and you did come, but you were not joyful and triumphant in doing so.
no, I was not. And the pay was not that great. As much as I very much appreciated the degen in me getting a regular check that wasn't in my paycheck outside of it coming, uh, that quickly that didn't last very long in the windows. So, um, but yeah, it was it's just nice, like I said, to be able to kind of kick back, relax, and actually enjoy the holidays. My job gives a lot of time off around the holidays, so that really helps with that, and it's just yeah, it's just less stressful now. So I do definitely appreciate that.
Yeah, that's for sure. I hear that. I mean, when I was working for HRTV and TVG, yeah, I'd get Christmas off. December 26th is opening day at Santa Anita. That's a big deal. There were multiple years where I had to fly back on Christmas night out of a New York City airport. So I would, from my base in the Hudson Valley, it's a 2 hour drive down to Newark or JFK or LaGuardia or wherever it is that I'm happening to be leaving from. So I would wind up leaving probably about 1:30, getting to the airport around 3:30 for a 5:30 flight that goes 6.5 hours. And then you wind up landing somewhere, needing to get a car, needing to get back home. All of a sudden, it's 10 p.m. on Christmas night. And yes, you're home, but it's 1 a.m. on the 26th back east. Hello, jet lag.
Yeah, I am not. We've talked. My wife and I have talked about possibly moving at some point. It's happened less now. Just that I do have a position that I'm pretty ingrained in
And
currently,
you'd also have to worry about packing up all the crap behind you, too.
yeah, that's true.
If
That's
you're
a ton of
watching
stuff.
this on YouTube, you know what I'm talking about. If you're not watching this on YouTube, go to YouTube, watch it, like, and comment down below with any sort of strategies you would recommend for Josh to attack that mountain of stuff behind him.
Yeah, that I think I might have to actually buy that green screen finally, and we can block that out. But yeah, it's just that's kind of always been a thing, is like traveling around the holidays is just like the biggest pain. So I just couldn't that just it always just makes things, I think, a little bit tougher. But luckily, like I said, we don't have to travel much, except for by car, so it's not it's not too bad. But what else you got going on this weekend? Anything fun?
So you mentioned a lot of tracks at the outset of this particular show. There's one that you missed, and we need to talk about it because it did something very positive for horse players.
Oh, you talking about Delta Downs?
Delta Downs slashed its takeout for multi-race exotics wagers. And if you're looking to play the pick four, you can do so at, I believe it's 12% takeout, 12 or 13, somewhere in that range. Very, very low. They basically slashed that rate the way Sam Houston slashed its rates several years ago. Sam Houston, of course, remains unavailable to anyone outside the state of Texas in the United States for reasons passing understanding that make less and less sense as time goes on. Having said that, Delta Downs made a great move to attract horse players to its product. You've got Turfway, which has never done better with its wagering product at this time of the year than it's doing right now. Yes, it's the winter. Yes, it's a little bit slow, but there are some circuits to play that wind up going out of their way to give horse players a product that you can feel happy wagering on. And Delta Downs made a heck of a move in slashing that takeout. My father actually sent over some past performances that I can take a look at for tomorrow night. I may well wind up doing that and putting a ticket out there just simply because whenever a track does that, if you're a horse player that complains about takeout a lot and you're not playing these wagers, you need to never complain about takeout again. You need to put your money where your mouth is, literally. Delta Downs is making that pretty easy to do. As far as other stuff goes, I mean, I'm flying on Thursday into New York City, crashing at my sister's place, going to see my dad's side of the family on Saturday, on Sunday, my sister's party, and then I'm flying back on Tuesday so that my fiance and I can do stuff on Christmas Day. But I've mentioned Santa Anita opening day on the 26th. I'll likely have a lot of content up for that. We might have some fun stuff coming up next week here on the On the Wrong Lead Network. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, there's a shocking amount of stuff going on, even though it's the holiday season. Something that I'm pretty proud of is the fact that if you look up some of the things on the site that I'm doing a lot of work on, winnersandwhiners.com, you will see a lot of our stories in the Google News carousel for terms like NCAA football betting bonuses, stuff like that. Take a look. A lot of really cool stuff there, especially as we move forward into the college football bowl season. My annual pool starts on Saturday. I'm hoping to still be alive come Monday. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, a fair amount of stuff going on. Things are good. Looking forward to seeing the sane parts of my family and the parts that like me. So that'll be fun. And yeah, just happy to be back here. Happy your Vegas trip went well. Happy to hear that you had a rally. Those rallies are always a lot of fun when they happen, especially when you know you're down a considerable amount and you're able to pick yourself up off the felt and make something out of it. That's always fun.
Yeah, the craziest part is, I'm sitting there and I was on that last roll, and I just kept on hitting the 6 and the 8, and I just kept on hearing this guy go, "Let him shoot it."
Isn't it great? I love Las Vegas. It's a wonderful town, even with all of the nonsense that winds up going with that F1 race. And look, just take it down. Just take the stuff down. You're actively ruining the experience of people that go to the strip for no reason. Can we end with a good Las Vegas anecdote or a Vegas related anecdote?
Sure.
Have you heard of the Netflix show Obliterated?
No.
So the basis of the show is a bunch of CIA agents are in Las Vegas to foil a bomb plot. First episode, they defuse a bomb that's supposed to destroy the entire city. They spend the night getting absolutely trashed in a Las Vegas suite. Turns out that was not a real bomb. And there is a real bomb elsewhere in the city that they need to defuse, and they need to do so in an inebriated state. If you liked The Hangover, you will love this show.
I'll have to take a look.
It's 8 episodes on Netflix. I think they're about 40 minutes long, so it is a little bit of an effort to watch, but it's really funny.
I'll have to take a look at that. Yeah. So obviously, we'll. I think we're gonna get another episode of Shots In this week, and then next week I am planning on trying to get a live stream together. So more information on that will be out this weekend. I have some feelers out to some guests, and I think we're just gonna have some fun with it next week. So hopefully that happens, and then yeah. I'm gonna see if Mark will get some Delta Downs content out. Mark loves Delta Downs, but oddly enough, he used to play it because of the rebate he would get. The reason he got such a good rebate is because the takeout was high. Now that rebate's gonna be gone, we'll see if he keeps playing it. I think he will.
Everybody gets a little bit of a rebate with the takeout. You can't always get what you want, people.
Yeah. Well, on the plus side, I think Mark has started to understand the circuit enough that I think he actually just likes playing it, so he might still continue to do it, but we'll see. But maybe we'll get Mark to do some of the content. Caleb is just finishing up his finals, and traveling home for Christmas. So hopefully, I think him and Mark are both confirmed for doing a stream next week. And then, like I said, we got guests. Andrew, you're gonna let us know about your availability, and I think we're gonna have some fun next week. So, yeah, I think that's gonna do it for us. And in backwards fashion. Oh, let me adjust my settings there, because once again, for some reason,
False start.
yeah, it's a false start.
Offense.
It may, and if I actually edited,
Tony lining up offsides to end the
yeah,
game.
if I actually edited, we would probably fix this. But who's got time to edit things? But we'll go out on what our normal intro is here. But on thewronglead.com, at wrong_lead on Twitter, at Cherry Drank, at Andrew Champagne. Like, subscribe, and we'll catch you guys later.
All the buttons, all the buttons, all the buttons.